Carol Doherty, VP of Sports Science and Medicine, based in New Zealand. And yeah, they work directly with the players, and we thought that you might have some questions that you might want to ask them about why we chose uSANA, what the players' reaction is. But we thought we'd start by sharing with you how we actually heard about uSANA and the partnership came to fruition. So Carol had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, and I can't remember what year it was, but
It was 2005. So actually, I guess the players were.
Yeah, we were looking for a supplement for our players, which was obviously very good quality, and also which was anti-doping safe for our athletes to take. And we've been looking for a while.
We had been looking for a while, and then Sports Science and Medicine came back to me with a short list of companies who on paper looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to some of them, but I couldn't get a hold of anybody at uSANA, and I was just like, well, I'm writing them off because, you know, nobody's returning my call.
And then
I'm
the other side of the
before I knew you.
You're the only person that's ever done that.
For the record, it wasn't Brian or I.
It was somebody that had left the company, which is why it was going to an abyss somewhere. So
I'm the other side of the world, and I knew we were looking, obviously, and somebody comes knocking on my door, and it's a uSANA rep who I'd never met before, and she tells me about your product, or the product, and I said, well, the company I work for, WTA, Pro Women's Tennis, we're actually looking for a supplement company. So I called Jill, and she called.
I got a name. Yeah.
I'm not sure who
Alan
she called.
So I finally got somebody on the other end, and yeah, Alan and I, you guys know Alan, right? Yeah, we started talking, and next thing Kathleen and I know, and our lawyer, we're flying out there to make sure this company with the funky name isn't working out of somebody's garage. Right? So we were looking stylish, like Lori. We done white jackets and hairnets, and we went through the plant, and we met with Dave and Alan and Dr. Cuomo and a few other people, and the rest, as they say, is history. I mean, not only is the product great for our players, but it's clean and pure, which is very important to us.
And it truly exceeded our expectations because of it being pharmaceutical grade, and then just the scientific analysis that goes into it behind the scenes, the constantly trying to improve the product, reevaluate, staying up to date on all the science and the research that's being done, you know, and the diligence of that. So it really did exceed our expectations, which was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful to have that marriage together. And obviously we're all in the business of keeping people healthy, so we have that link and that desire. So.
We were talking a little bit about the player product distributions, and can you just maybe go through a little bit about the form that the players have to go through to make sure that their health hasn't changed?
Yeah. So we have a couple things. When the players first come in, we have, when they enter the tour, they go through a very comprehensive physical examination. And we have a pretty detailed section on there about nutrition and hydration. And it has to do with their general health as well as for their immune systems as well as their sport. And for our population, the questions that we ask pertain to, we cover 4 distinct areas because we work with professional tennis players, they're professional athletes, so it's sports specific, professional athletes, a traveling athlete because our athletes travel the world, so we always have to have that on the top of our minds, and then the female athlete who has, you know, special needs as well. And so our physical examination is quite comprehensive, covering those areas. And then once we take the players through their initial evaluation, when they renew, then we always ask them questions that are updating just to what happened, you know, have there been any changes in your health? Have there been any changes? Have you had, you know, recent blood work done? Have you had any issues with any of the products from a, you know, digestion standpoint or anything like that? So we're always staying on top of it with the players to make sure that we give any feedback, so we're all working together to meet the athlete's needs athletes, and of course continue to have excellence in the products that we offer to the athletes. And we've done this now since 2006, and we went from 0 players who were taking products to now, what is our number?
170.
150.
Sorry, 170. 8 out of the top 10, 15 out of the top 20.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know, so the players love it. When we have a distribution, we had one here this week. They meet with our dietitian and also uSANA rep, and they're constantly wanting to know, okay, what's new, what have you added to the line, what do I need that for, and really giving great feedback. So we've been able to address a lot of their needs. Some of, like, for example, like the probiotic product, that's, you know, as our players travel and they may go to Asia, things might bother them a little bit more. So, you know, we try to always be in the world of prevention.
And our players never go without uSANA. Your team travels with it at every event.
We're at every event, so if somebody forgets theirs, which sometimes happens, you know, we have it for them in the training room, and then otherwise they'll come and they'll get their specific or individual customized packs for it. Thank you.
Yeah.
They're customized packs for it. You know, they're throughout the distribution.
Yeah, they like that because their names are on them.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
They actually get them right.
Oh, yeah.
They do, and it's the added touch. And so, you know, if they come to a tournament and they need the replenishment, and then they want to know, why don't you have the one with my name on it? Sorry, I wasn't sure you were going to forget yours.
So in the beginning, did it have to have a lot of education to the current, you know, WTA
Yes.
team members, because it can be a little controversial for them, right, in
Yes.
the beginning, right,
Yeah.
when uSANA became a partner. So was there
Yeah.
any education going on for the players?
There were two
Yeah.
things. The beginning, when we identified the need for supplements, for the athletes to have supplements through what they weren't getting in their nutrition, hydration, and because of the demands of their sport, you know, that was all identified during physicals. And our physicians would say, okay, you need to take this, this, and this, and they're, you know, they're bright ladies, so they would come back and say, well, you're telling me to take this, but you're not. Then you're telling me you don't have an answer.
Yeah.
So you know, so
Just
of
the
course,
problem,
right.
obviously.
So they are, you know, so they're sharp and they're professionals, and so you know, we had a job to do, and so of course, working with these two amazing professionals, they helped us to get that done. And then when we introduced the product line, we educate the players on what it's for, and that's where our dietitian and our entire sports science and medicine team, every single year, and when they come on board, this is part of their orientation. So they have an understanding of the product, why it's used, when it's used, how we offer it to the athletes. Certain things that we carry are also like iron and vitamin D, and so that's always accompanied with a blood test. And so we have protocols in place that we follow strictly on tour. And then, you know, some of the top players would recommend, you know, they've asked me each year, at the beginning of the year, we'll send them, this is our list for the year. Because one year I asked a player, why are you asking for this? Because why aren't you using uSANA? Why didn't you give me the information? Okay, sorry. So I learned my lesson. So yes, they get it like clockwork now at the beginning of the year. So they have a complete understanding of what products are available to them and what it's for. Yes. They're very educated in that area. It's impressive. Yeah, and they stay up on it. They like to read about it because athletes are really live in that space of health and nutrition.
That's true.
And
Their fuel.
yeah, it's their fuel,
Yeah.
and they understand the importance of that. Yeah, so they're pretty advanced.
And initially, through uSANA, we offered the athlete guarantee, and a few people signed up at the beginning, but we have no takers anymore because they just trust the product so much that they know it's a clean and good product that, we don't even go there anymore. So
there's 150,
70, sorry.
170, and then how many total WTA members are there?
I don't know.
And how do you get them on? Like, what kind of process is that?
Yep. Our full full membership is comprised of 200. And
Pretty good ratio then.
yes.
They're all just loners not following the pack, right?
Exactly.
How do we get them to come on?
Well, I mean, it's true. If the player,
Yeah.
if somebody just coming on the tour sees it, knows that a top player is using the product,
Yeah.
you know, they want to be like Mike, you know.
And the professional answer is that as the players enter the tour, we have formalized education programs for the players, and as they go through that formalized education program, they learn about what's available to them, and we teach them about their health and nutrition, and this is a major part of it. So that's the formal answer. The informal answer, and probably the most powerful one, is that that players are competitive, and if one player is doing it, the other player wants to do it. So it's if we want something done, we just tell a player, and then it gets. It's really good if you do this exercise, and then it gets done. If she says that it takes 12 times,
Kathleen and